Sure. Super excited to be here. Excited for another season. I think when you do this as long as I have, you think at some point it's going to get old, but it never does. So this group has been really fun to work with. We've been pleasantly surprised with having 3 weeks of preseason. I think they were a little nervous about it to start, but I think we've endured, and we've got to a place where with the old faces and the new faces, we just have a lot of talent in that gym. So we're excited to get started, obviously hosting some national perennial powerhouses. Opening weekend here in Pensacola is going to be really exciting. And then second weekend we get to go out to Colorado once again to play in the Colorado Premier. But I think this is going to be a really, really fun group to work with. They're adopting our system. They've bought into everything we're doing. They're just really awesome. They're just an awesome group to work with. So we're anxious to get out on the court in 2 days.
Well, listen, when you lose people who not only were the central leaders and had played in positions that kind of sort of quarterbacks the team and had done it for a long, long time, what do you do to look for somebody to replace that? Or is that sort of the process of being in that position when you got to this?
Yeah, I mean, we had Monique St. Cyr for 4 years, and she was obviously an incredible player. But I think, when you have a team, obviously you want to have two quarterbacks. And what nobody really saw last year was what Brogan Wallen was doing in our gym. And she challenged Mo every day, and she had court time last year. So I think that was really important for her to step in and quarterback our team at times. And she's ready to roll. She was a redshirt her first year, so we've had a lot of fun working with her. She's a student of the game. She's incredibly competitive, and she bows down to nobody. So these guys are rallying behind her because they respect her. So I think it's really hard with a quarterback trying to replace them. I wouldn't say we're ever trying to replace players. We're just trying to see who's going to step up and take that role and grab the reins, and Brogan has definitely done that. Obviously, graduating Rachel Neblett, that's a big loss for us, but Kenzie is ready to roll. She's a senior, and she's not messing around. I mean, I'm really, really impressed with this group as a whole, with the returners who saw what those players did for us, and Katie Kallmeyer's another one, and she's actually working on our staff this year as a graduate assistant. So she's been able to impart some leadership skills into these players as they're stepping into bigger roles. But I just am a big believer you don't replace players, but up-and-coming players see who they want to be, and when those marquee players graduate, they get a chance to show what they're all about.
How much do you feel like that really does, making the regional final when you did come so close to the bigger things? How much do you feel like that's for a program, just seeing, okay, it's there, we can do it? How much do you build on that?
That's huge. I think the disadvantage we had going into the regional final last year was that Florida Southern had been in the regional final 2 years in a row and lost. And you don't forget that. I mean, it's probably crawled underneath these guys' skin for months now. And that's not something that you can train. It's something they have to experience. So I think that's only made them more hungry to go out and do something this year that we've never done as a program before.
You said two things in the video. A, you have a great ball control team, and then you're really happy with how physical you are at the net, which is a pretty big combination. So is that the best you've been as far as those two areas of the game, and how does that translate to postseason matchups and the things that face down there?
Ball control is huge. I think last year we were pleasantly surprised. I mean, obviously Nadine was new to the program. Logan was only a freshman. And we needed to have that ball control be something, a staple for our team, for us to be able to go the distance. So now they're 1 year older, 1 year wiser, 1 year tougher. And I think the serve and pass game's huge at all levels, especially the college level. If you can't pass the ball, you better have big banging pins. And for us, we want to utilize our middles and our rights and our lefts. But so the ball control is a big deal. But we've been known very much for our blocking in recent years. And what's kind of fun about this group is that obviously we have a very deep team, we have a very large team, but what they can do at the net in terms of stopping strong attacks is pretty spectacular. So we're pretty pumped about that. That wasn't something we were sure was going to be there this early, but it definitely is. I'll let them take that.
I think it kind of lights a fire for us just because we are starting out so strong. For us in practice, we can't take any reps off just because we don't get what some people may say like an easy home opener. Like we're starting out playing one of the top ranked teams in the country. And so we have to bring our best game like the very first serve. And I think that kind of just lights a fire for us to like push and be better and really mesh as a team.
It's super exciting. I think it's like something to look forward to because like Kenzie said, you know, we know like it's going to be a tough game. We're not going to just go in there and like beat everybody, which is super exciting. And we all like to be challenged. And I think that this is our first challenge as a team in a game. And, you know, we can just build from here, win or lose. It's going to benefit us no matter what happens.
What, from the player's perspective, you've been part of a team, of a program that's sort of incrementally elevated its level of play, but the experience of the last couple of years, both whether it's the disappointment not going farther, but what you've learned from as far as you've gotten and the quality wins that you've gotten, what have you learned about that experience? How have you get it?
Well, we're both transfers. So we got here and we were ended on a pretty high note. So, I mean, I think that I would say personally my standards are set very high from this program just because of how great of an experience I had last year. And I think we can go further. I thought we could have gone further last year, and I expect nothing less.
Yeah, kind of building off of that, I mean, Nade's right. We both were transfers, and I think personally I learned that all of us, including myself, have a skill that we have yet to reach and that we're still growing and that we have more potential in that we're not peaking. And I think it's really cool to see our entire team grow. And when it comes to postseason, like, people should watch out because we're still growing and we're going to be ready.
Melissa, you're not a transfer, so what have you seen with the program and whether it's the girls have been in the program for a while and even once you come in, but the schedule you play, you've seen the NCAA tournament that you hosted here and kind of so you've had plenty of exposure to the top level. So how have you closed it in on that level?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen is just being part of the national committee has afforded me an opportunity to see the national championships every year and unfortunately not be in it yet, but I get to bring those experiences back to our team on the years that we don't host it, and it just makes it possible. And to see so many of the teams that we had faced last year and in previous years that are in the top 8 in the country, it's possible. And that's really what it comes down to, is just helping our players believe that it's possible and that we have what it takes. And that, like Kenzie said, if we keep growing and we keep getting better on a daily basis, we're going to keep knocking on that door. Eventually it's going to open, or we're going to bust it out. So I think this year these guys are ready. They're very focused. Contrary to last year at this time, we had a lot of new faces and we weren't really sure what to expect. These guys have set some really high goals and they're already fighting for what it is they're going to want come postseason. But they know it's a process. Season's long, and we just have to take it 1 point, 1 set, 1 match at a time.
Out of the newcomers, who do you think makes the biggest impact?
That's a great question. We obviously have a big incoming class. We brought in 5 freshmen and 4 transfers. And it's surprising. Yesterday we were running a bunch of different lineups, and at any given point, I think we could get contributions from any one of them. Right out of the gate, I'll tell you, we have a brand new freshman setter who is making waves, doing some really good things, and her name is Taylor Van Ekeren. She's doing a really good job in our gym. Jody Covanda is a left-handed right side hitter, and she's just incredibly athletic. Makila York, I could go down the list. At any given point, I look at our gym, and we don't have a player that's holding us back. And that's rare. You usually have somebody that's a year away from really contributing, really even helping your gym skill set be higher. That is not this year. That's been the biggest surprise for me, is there's definitely a break in the skill sets, but we can run lots of different things, starters, non-starters, intermingled, and the level still remains really high, which I think is pretty exciting for us.
What do you look for in the tournament this weekend?
Wins. We're looking for wins. It's always I always look for those great teams that'll come into our gym and challenge us. And I'm so excited to get a chance to play Regis here because we usually play them out there in Colorado, and the altitude becomes a bit of an issue for us out there. So we're excited to get a crack at them right out of the gate. They're coming off of a national championship experience last year. They're returning almost everyone, so that'll be a tremendous challenge for our first match. So we're excited about that. They've got some veterans. They've got a couple returning All-Americans, just real steady. And so I think that's going to force us to score our own points. And, early on, it's really a matter of who's going to air out. And I told our players, I don't want to be so worried about the other side. We got to worry about our own side of the net this weekend. And that I think will present some challenges for us. Always wanted to play against Western Washington. Watched them for years, have tremendous respect for their coach. So that's going to be a fun matchup for us too. And obviously, Southwest Minnesota State is somebody that we've brought down to Florida a few times and had never been able to get that win. So I know our players are excited about them. And Wheeling just runs crazy fast. So 4 incredibly different styles. So I'm excited to see how we can adapt to totally different styles of the game.